Okay, so our topic was on does money lead to happiness, and we looked at whether or not there's a correlation between your happiness and the amount of income that you have in your household. We saw that it focused mainly on behavior and your mental process when you were thinking about your finances. And we decided to do this because your financial stability is very prevalent in our society today, your income. So we just wanted to know more about the issue.
Some of the statements that supported this issue, it was shown that those who tend to spend more on others are more likely to be happy. So when you have the money to spend on others, for example, like the Christmas season, everyone likes to give. I like to give. Wealthier countries tend to be happier than the countries that are in poverty. And it's just like if you look at the United States compared to like Ethiopia, obviously we're doing a lot better. There was also the research journal on personality showed that there's a strong correlation between money and happiness, and that when you have more money, it seems that you have less chores, so you're not worrying about this or that. You have the money just to cover it.
Another statement that supported the correlation between finances and happiness was that in lower economic standing, people generally are more distressed psychologically and socially if they have that low income. So it does show that there's a correlation there. And the book defined that one's attribution can be defined by their income. So the higher the income, the more positive the self-serving bias. And counselors often show that financial stability is a large factor in couples and those who are married, and that it really matters on if it's a strong and lasting marriage, if they're financially stable. The desire for money can be very addictive because you obviously need money to support yourself and to survive and to get the materialistic needs that we like to have today.
Some of the opposing comments that we found, or statements, we found that in the Griggs textbook that the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and we have the pyramid that shows that you need your basic needs first, like hunger, thirst, and to be healthy. And then after that, it all just doesn't have any correlation with money. The path to happiness is not an always clear path. Researchers suggest that even money does not enhance happiness. And we found that when a person's household falls below the $75,000 a year, that they become unhappy because they're just not making enough. But when it rises above the $75,000 a year, the happiness doesn't necessarily increase with the amount of money that they're making.
Some other statements that refute the correlation are that low income is not necessarily what saddens people. What saddens people is their relationship with other people and how the people that they're in a relationship with, whether it be friends or an intimate relationship, how that person views their income. So it's really how other people think of them and look at them in their situation. We said that once you are making a comfortable income, the more money that you have actually shows that sometimes your happiness can go down because you're not necessarily focusing on what's important, you're just focusing on materialistic needs, so it can sometimes decrease your happiness.
Some of our conclusions were that the subject well-being can be increased with a pay raise, but it could be better, not necessarily in the happy sense. It can make your self-esteem feel better about you. There was a study of poverty in Mexico, that the lower the status is, the lower your subjective well-being is.
So we mainly found that after making a certain income, your happiness does not correlate to your income. As long as you are meeting your subjective well-being, which is having housing, having food, and being healthy, being able to support yourself and have a good health, then your happiness is not going to increase from money, as long as you can meet those needs. So we did believe that money does not lead to happiness, although there are some cases that show that it could. We think the majority of the research that we found supported our belief.